Welcome to today's Soul Chat. I'm Jenny Halla, the Akashic Nomad. I am a soul guide, an intuitive guide, all that fun stuff. I don't know why I went there, but I just felt like, um, let's talk today about thoughts, feelings, and actions. And why I'm going to talk about this is because here's the thing. The people that I work with and the situation I love to help people transform from and into is when you are someone who is a go-getter, an achiever, someone who maybe has an A-type personality and you have had a lot of success in your life. And there's this thing where you have maybe spent a lot of time in your mind thinking, strategizing, and making a lot of actions with your mind. And you've hit this point where you want to trust your intuition and you want to trust your inner guidance more. You understand a lot of the spiritual and metaphysical terms. You understand things like align to your highest timeline. You understand concepts about elevating your vibrational frequency. You understand that it's important to listen to your intuition, to listen to your guidance, and you perhaps do quite a bit. And at the same time, still, you may slip into different things of the mind, and you find that it's getting exhausting, and you find that it is maybe something that I don't know, you're just done with. And you know that you can change your life, you can change your experience by trusting yourself and trusting your intuition. You're like, how do I get there? Okay. So a lot of the work that I do is based on energy and energetics. And so for many of you, these are the conversations you're wanting to have. And what I do understand, I do know is that when you're coming into the space to understand energy and energetics for yourself and understanding the way that you work with the energy of the world, one thing I'm going to give you is this simple concept about thoughts, feelings, and actions. Okay, so this is going to speak to your brain to help you understand and to help give you some grounding and some footing around some concepts as you're moving through these transitions for yourself. So this is super simple, okay? Your thoughts, these sentences that you say, and this is the way that I've heard this put together specifically, like the sentences that you say, the things that you say to yourself day in and day out, whether they are out loud or just running on repeat in your background, the sentences that you say, the thoughts that you have, and I'm going to add in the beliefs that you have, then lead to the feelings that you have. So it's like you have this thought or belief, which then brings this feeling into you. And then from that feeling, you then take an action. And I know sometimes we can be hypercritical of ourselves and we can be like, well, but I'm not taking an action. And by not taking an action, there's still an action that's being taken. So let's say, for example, I'm going to speak because there's a lot of people that come to me who are business owners, who are entrepreneurs, or have that entrepreneurial mindset. So even if they're not an entrepreneur, they're maybe moving into that space. So what happens is sometimes we get into these certain thoughts about the way business is or it should be or how we want it to be. And so maybe we have a thought that is driving our experience. Okay. So there's this thought and this belief that we have that's going on repeat. And actually, you know what? Let me just share some of mine, like straight up, that I'm completely dismantling right now as we speak. So I have had this thought and belief for many years that as a speaker, author, coach, influencer, whatever title you want to put on, like the work and how I have felt to make the impact in the world, I have had this underlying belief that if I hear like simple concepts, like for example, thought, feeling, action, if I hear this simple concept, um, I can't share it with others because it's not mine and I didn't create it and I didn't come up with it. So I can't talk about it because it's someone else's. And so I've that thought, whether I've articulated it in my conscious mind or I act like it's not there or I'm like, oh, I've moved past that. That thought has driven a lot of the way that I've shown up or maybe perhaps not shown up in the world to share different concepts with you or with my clients. Actually, with my clients, I kind of share just about anything. But when it comes to publicly, I just have been scared, and that thought has created the feeling of being scared, being overcritical with myself, with being like afraid to say something because afraid that someone's going to be like, well, that's mine, or, and I don't have any intention to steal anybody's stuff. I'm happy to give credit where credit's due. And just because I heard this concept from another coach doesn't mean thought, feeling, and action is hers. Like, it's such a simple thing. It's a simple thing. It's like coaching 101. But like, this is what has driven, this thought has driven my feelings for me to feel inadequate or want to have perfection around how I put together messages and how I show up in the world. That then leads to the action. And for me, the actions have been freeze mode, stuck. Maybe not like, so I was working with Lori Smith. She's a soulful speaking coach. So one of the things that really she brought into my experience is speaking from my ass. And what that means for me is really like how I'm talking right now. Like, I'm speaking with all of me, and there's a good chance you can feel my energy in the transmission. If you can feel the passion, and it's an intentional passion in the way it's being transmitted to you. Okay. So the action or lack thereof of action for me was perhaps maybe putting on a face before, where a lot of my speaking in the past, while I know that I've come across like very confident in many ways as I've gone through my journey of entrepreneurship, and for those of you who've been around for a long time, you've seen different iterations of me, and you've probably thought from the outside like, wow, she's so confident. Let me just tell you, I have had so much self-doubt in this process. It's freaking unreal. Like, it is absolutely, and let's talk about that. I can even break down self-doubt. Thoughts, doubt, doubt about yourself, doubt about your abilities, doubt about your intuition, doubt about your skills, doubt about the impact you're making in the world, doubt about the next steps to take in your business, doubt about anything. Then when you have thoughts that lead to doubt, what is the feeling that you have typically? Like, if you have some kind of a doubt related thought, what is the feeling? I know for me, the feelings when they're attached to doubt are like, I feel like shit. I feel unmotivated. I feel disempowered. I feel like I have to go do more work to get better so I can not feel in doubt, and so I can like overwork myself out of this doubt. I'm telling you, I'm literally breaking these as we speak, to where it's like, my goodness, is it really worth all of the effort of that thought? That thought is literally just a thought. It's a belief. It's a thought. It's like I've committed my life. We're committing our lives to these thoughts. We're committing our lives to these thoughts, the thoughts that then trigger the feelings. And when you have the feelings of disempowerment, fuck, no wonder why we don't want to do anything. And then we get mad because we're like, oh, it's not working. Thought, feeling, action. So if you change the thoughts, and this is, for me, this is a little deeper than the typical like go do affirmations, because I know how right now that can be perceived, like change the thought, affirmations. The thought, if you change the thought and the feeling, those actually go hand in hand. So first of all, you have to be willing to recognize that you have this thought. So I just got done. I'm like excited. So I just got done speaking with my husband, and he is a great reflection of different things in my life. I just got done speaking with him, and I was telling him, holy crap, like I can see these cycles that I've been in that have been based on thought, feeling, action, and I can see how like these thoughts lead me to the same stuff, and I'm sick of it and I'm ready to break it. Like, I'm done. I'm done. So as you can imagine, and as you've likely already heard, and if you haven't heard, perhaps maybe this is a refresher, you haven't heard it in a while, maybe it's new. The first step to making change is like having awareness. Now, this is now speaking to your brain. This is speaking to your brain, because your brain, to have awareness, there are sometimes transformations in our lives and in our like day-to-day experience where it is important for our mind, our body, and our soul to be on the same page in the transformation, for our mind to be able to understand what's going on, and then for our body, perhaps whether it to be to release different things emotionally, to feel our emotions, to release things. There's like different somatic release. Like, that's not my specialty as far as somatic release, but like an example, like moving your body to help move different things. And then the soul and the intuition. One of the main reasons why in my program, 7 Weeks of Magic, which is my one-on-one main program that I work with people on this type of a thing, one of the main reasons why we lean more in to the intuition and the energetics of the experience is so that it can help you, help us, help the world, help the people get back into that feeling. Because if we spend a lot of time in the thinking and in the mind, to be able to reconnect back into the feeling, to connect back into our bodies, to connect into our intuition, to be able to have that connection with ourselves where we're trusting ourselves and our intuition more than we're trusting our brain. And that's kind of wild. That's a pretty bold statement to say. Because you're like, well, why wouldn't I trust my brain? My brain has gotten me things. It probably has. My brain still gets me a lot of great things. But the thing is I find that when I trust my intuition and myself, the energy behind it, it comes more from a place in my heart, comes from my soul. I feel grounded in my energy. When I am in that like thought, feeling, action part of what we're talking about, when I am in the thought part and I'm having a hard time bringing up the feelings to be able to switch into a new reality, into a new experience, a lot of times, because the energy, for me, this is how it shows up, and it could perhaps show up the same way for you. And if it doesn't, honor what it is for you. But I'm going to share my experience and what I see with a lot of my clients is it shows up like scattered. I feel ungrounded. I don't know where the answers are, which then triggers me, like the feeling. It triggers me to feel like, for me, I'm doing my best to notice when I feel disempowered. And this is something you can do too. Like, where in your life do you feel disempowered? Do you feel what are the other words? I want to say doubtful, like other words. When you are not feeling your best self, I'll just put it that way, because that can encompass a lot of different words of emotions in this experience. When you're having that experience, this is me making a potential connection right now, and it's possible that I speak into this deeper and perhaps a different way in a future video, but this is what feels present right now. It's almost as if there's this connection. I just lost it. Maybe I wasn't supposed to say it. It's completely gone. All right, let me see. It just went boop. So it must not meant to say it that way. How can we? Okay, I was talking about changing the loop, changing the pattern. So when we change the pattern and we change the thought, feeling, action, it's more than affirmations, because if we can get into the feeling and we can get into the heart, we can get into the groundedness of the energy, we can more tap into that space to be able to shift the process through the feeling, through the thought. And it's actually like it's really quite simple. And at the same time, it can be extremely complex, because if we're trying to like figure it out and analyze it, but here is a main difference, is that I'll tell it to you from business for me in this example right now that is so clear to me. For over 10 years, this is super, super vulnerable for me to put this out like live. And look, I say that because I record these live on Facebook or Instagram, usually on Facebook, because it's easy for me. And then I download it and I upload it to YouTube, and it's going to be there forever. So like, this is hitting whoever it's meant to hit at whatever time it's meant to hit. And so for over 10 years, I have been trying my ass off to build a business, to be successful as an entrepreneur, to like make it as an entrepreneur, to prove that I'm capable of creating a successful business. And without spending this entire video, maybe perhaps I'll share a video that goes into more of that story at some future moment. But for now, I can see how so much of that experience was me being in the thought and the feelings that would like cause me to stall in the actions of like, I took actions, but I just mean like, just thoughts of like, um, when will I be good enough? How do I get clients? How do I find people? Nobody likes my message. My message isn't good enough. My message isn't clear enough. I don't know what to say. What are the things I need to say in order to have people buy my products? Those thoughts were me looking for answers. And in the journey of looking for answers, those thoughts made me feel, I can see this looking back, those thoughts made me feel less than. And then by feeling less than, I would look to be able to complete that circle. And by feeling less than, I wanted to feel complete. So I would buy products and programs that I felt like would be the key, that I felt like were the missing product. I continued to look for like, what am I missing? What do I not get? Why do I not get this? It's been a ride. And now what I'm shifting into is when I'm noticing that those thoughts come up where I am discounting myself or I am telling myself that I don't know how to articulate the work that I do. That's another one I've told myself for many, many years. I don't know how to market. I don't know how to say the words to say the things clearly. Like, I don't know, I just don't get it. That has me feel like shit, has me looking for a solution to the problem, which then causes me a lot of times to not make action, to not make my offers out in the world, to not be able to tell people what I do. How I'm shifting that with the thought, feeling, action is I am tapping into a different place. And so here, this place that I'm talking to you from is this passion to be able to share with you this experience and to share with you this perspective that helps you on your journey. And for me, it's a whole different energy where in this energy and this feeling, where I'm feeling really empowered and I'm feeling connected to you and I'm feeling like I'm serving and I'm helping you. This is a whole different energy that honestly, I don't really give a rat's ass. I don't care about all those other thoughts. I don't care about, oh, what if my message isn't good enough? What if I don't say the right thing? What if I don't have the right title? Like all the shit that we think about. So that's how we can begin to shift it, by shifting into a different energy. What is it that you want to embody in your life? What is it that you're stepping into? Looks like there's like, I just got distracted because like there's like on the top of the screen up here, the reflection of my hand. But like, it's like, how are we coming back into a place in our lives? And I'm going to use some terms that are probably overused and they just feel so right now, because it's like, how do we come back into a place where we own our power, where we connect to who we are and the essence of who we are, and we aren't in this place of being responsive to all of the thoughts that are really disempowering. Okay, it's a practice, it's a process, it's a journey. And my friends, this is a little bit of a training that goes into the mind, speaks a little bit to the mind, that gives a little bit of the background into what I love the best about the work that I do in 7 Weeks of Magic, and working with the energy of people's souls and helping reflect back to them their the truth and the power, and helping people to tap into the clarity and tap into the fire and the activation, because this is really like when we can be whole and complete. There is I'm going to take that back because that just sounded presumptive in a way. When we can be whole and complete. There is a truth to that, but it's also like, I don't like that. So I'm going to erase that. When we can trust that we have our own source of energy, that we have our own source of fuel and fire, and that we are able to tap into this unlimited potential within us, when we're able to come into that place, there is a lot of magic that can be created from that space. And from that space and from that magic created, we are able to impact more people with the way we are being. And the way we are being in the world from that space has a ripple effect. Not only does it invite others to step into their own beingness, it also creates more momentum in your life. It creates a different set of actions, which then creates a different set of results. We as humans, and I feel like especially now, we are so results driven. And perhaps maybe you're not. If you're not, I want to know and I want to hear all about it. But what I'm seeing and what I've experienced is that it's so results driven. When we invest in coaching, when we invest in a program, it's like, what are the results? What's the outcome? How are we going to get it? Got to make sure I'm getting it. Now that's intense. That may not be the way you're doing it. Maybe I get it. We want to know what's coming out of it. And these are the things, like if your life can be 50% better because if you shifted in the way of your beingness because of this one simple piece of information that helped your brain to understand a few pieces, that then helps you to shift out of patterns, what else is possible? What else is possible? Here soon, I'm actually finalizing dates for I believe it's going to be 3 to 5 days. I haven't finalized the dates, but it's going to be an amazing experience that you're not going to want to miss. It's going to be free, where I'm going to be doing, it'll be like 3 days of soul coaching, 3 days of magic. Like I'm finalizing it. I believe it's either going to be, I think it's going to be the week of Thanksgiving here in the United States. The Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is what I'm leaning towards. But what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be coaching on a concept, and I'm bringing all that through right now with the Akashic Records. So what it's going to be is essentially what's going to happen is you're going to be able to come meet with me, and I'm going to be sharing a channeled message or a channeled teaching from the Akashic Records. And then we're going to break it down and we're going to apply it to your life and help you transform in that short period of time so you can feel what it's like to be in the energy of me, the Akashic Records, the energy of other like-minded people. You can be in the energy of feeling what it's like to tap into your potential from like a soul energetic perspective. And you also can experience what it's like to work with me in a different way than like here on video, or maybe you've seen me do Akashic record readings. It's unlikely you've seen me coach or hold space in that way. So this is a way for you to get a peek behind the scenes, to experience behind the scenes, have a powerful transformation. And so I'm literally having this, and make sure that if you want in, reach out to me. I'll make sure that you are able to come to that, because I'm going to be pulling this together very intentionally, very quick, and very simply. Okay, so it's not going to be like big, huge emails with 75,000 reminders. It's literally going to be like intentional. You're in, you're out. Let's go make it work. Let's rock out. Let's step into more of this inner peace and calm in the chaos. So more to come on that. Stay tuned, and I will see you guys on the next soul chat. Bye.